man, happy Monday night, everybody. Took a little break last week, but we're back. And if you guys are wondering who are these two unfamiliar faces, we've added people to our team. This is Brandon, who has been once on our show before, and then we've got Anya. We've added them recently to the Plug Talk Sports team, so we'll be seeing a lot more of them. You guys, either one of you two, if you guys want to introduce yourself to the crowd, go ahead.
You can go, Brandon.
Of course. Well, my name is Brandon Hernandez. Right now, I'm becoming a junior in university, and I'm going straight into sports journalism. I want to broadcast games, and of course, I have a lot of history with sports as well. Of course, right now I'm working with the ticket office with the Miami Dolphins as well as the Florida Panthers for hockey, but I'm more than just that. So I just love to talk sports, and I love to, have a little debate here and there.
My name's Anya. Um, Not as cool as Brandon, but I'm a senior right now at FIU, and I do want to take like the sports journalism track, but I don't know if it's still going to be there by the time like I'm done. So yeah, I'm just interning right now at the South Florida Media Network at school as one of their anchors and reporters, and try to do as much sports as I can. I want to anchor, host, kind of want to be everywhere, be like versatile. I like production, that's my favorite, but I kind of like everything.
Right, that's good. I mean, the more you can do everything, it's more to add to your resume, and you get have just an experience of everything, and just versatile. And you be like, if someone asks you, "Hey, can you do this?" That's it. Boom, you go ahead and you can do it. So the
Yeah.
more, the better, to be honest.
Honestly, my family already knows because I like brag about it all the time. I don't know if it's like something to brag about, but I kind of never want to go home. I always want to be like at work type of thing.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes I get the feeling, but at other times you're like, I need a bed and I need a shower.
True, but that's like
I need
after a long day, though, you know.
I need hours. I need 12 hours of sleep, which would be
12,
nice, which never
12.
happens.
Oh my god, I don't even
Never
think
happens.
that sounds unheard of
No,
in
It
today.
would
literally.
be nice. It would be nice, but it's never happened yet. The day it happens, I'll let you guys know.
Okay,
Yes,
I'll be waiting for it. I'll be waiting for it.
I'll send you a
I don't
picture.
think it's happening anytime soon.
Oh, dang.
But guys, let's get into plug of the week and shameless plug, just to get you guys familiar with it. I think Brandon, you maybe remember. Plug of the week is the best thing that happened to you this past week, and shameless plug is the worst thing that happened this last week that you not only to you or that you saw something you saw on the news, social media, TV. Do you guys want to start with the good news or the bad news?
Bad news.
Uh, the bad news
Bad
first.
news.
Yes,
Okay,
because
since you
after we're all, oh, when, you could be like, oh, wow, like,
okay, Anya, you
Okay,
go first then with
okay.
the bad news. You want to start us off? Go with the bad news. Worst thing you saw this week.
um, I want to say the worst thing I saw was actually on the news today. A 4-year-old got hit and run. Yeah, that was today. So
I didn't even have a comment for that one. So
Yeah.
it's really like they're still looking for the guy.
Oh yeah. I mean, honestly, especially in the news now today, is like, you see more and more insane stories now. Is just, it's unbelievable. Especially with people coming back from, being, in the house during the pandemic, now back to like on the streets. You're seeing a lot of things we're not used to. At least seeing for a year from now.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. I feel like we just want. I feel like I want to retreat back to like pandemic life, just because people were inside. But I don't know. It really sucked to hear that.
hey, listen, I don't know. Some people may find me weird, but I actually enjoyed that quarantine period of being in. It was really nice.
It was. It
Yeah.
It
was.
was a nice, calm, portion of life.
Oh yeah, you read a
Actually,
book, and then after that
yeah.
you read another book, and then you saw a movie. I wasn't in the
At
movie
home.
theater exactly, but you still saw it, so it wasn't that bad.
Literally. I actually got into a new hobby. Um, I started playing the PS4 for like the first time in like forever, and I like it a lot. Apex is like my favorite game.
Nice. Nice.
Oh, you
I
come
love
on.
it.
You got to give
I've
me the gamer tag
gradually,
after.
I've gradually upgraded from like not getting anything, like no kills, no assists, nothing, to like one assist, one kill today, and that's after 2 weeks. So
You
we're
That's
getting
really
impressive.
definitely have to give me your gamer tag after this because I play Apex almost every day.
I got you.
Brandon, worst thing you saw?
Worst thing I saw. I mean, it's not because I saw on Twitter somebody was fighting in like a like one of the candle places like a Bed Bath and Beyond or whatever,
Yeah,
something
Bath and
like
Body
that.
Works?
Yeah,
Body Works. Yeah.
exactly that. Somebody was fighting in the candle store, and actually it was the employee that hit first.
Really?
Craziest thing I saw. It was some type of confrontation. Like some lady was yelling to another customer across the room. Then the employees trying to separate them, and I guess like she went up to his face and was like, "You can't do that. You just can't. You know what? You can." And the lady that was working there just put her hands on her, and they were brawling on like the floor. It was like Mortal Kombat, but the thing is, though, in the middle of like some type of Iowa super mall. You know what I mean? So it was probably the worst thing I saw because I never thought I'll ever see, that after Black Friday. You know what I mean? Like,
Crazy.
a brawl in the mall. So
I was
I
just
don't
there.
know what it is, but like something about the holidays just it makes people I don't
Crazy.
know just
it's
so much
tradition. It's
worse.
tradition.
And like
It's
this year, they're
tradition.
hopping right back into tradition, so it's like even crazier.
No, yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah, they're getting that rage out that they didn't get last year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally.
So I'm gonna tell you guys a little story. This is gonna be my shameless plug. Um, so this past weekend on Friday night was my dad's company Christmas party at the Biltmore Hotel in Coral Gables.
Oh.
I posted on my story. It was very weird, creepy thing that happened. So we stayed overnight on Thursday because they gave the company some rooms or whatever. And when we're there on Thursday night, I just messing around with my parents, or whatever. I tell them like supposedly that hotel is haunted. Uh,
Um,
yeah, no, really, like that hotel. So the Biltmore in Coral Gables opened in like 1920, and it hosted like Al Capone and all these like Italian mafia gangsters used to go there and hang out. Then it turned into so it gets worse. It turned into a World War II hospital.
Wow.
Uh, yeah, and it closed down in six. The military left it in 1963, and then it was abandoned for a couple of years and reopened as a hotel again in 1983.
I have so many
But
questions.
Yeah,
it
it
gets
sounds like
better. Trust me, it gets better.
my God.
So this is the only hotel I know that has a 13th floor, and on the 13th floor, there's only one room, and it's a big suite. They call it the Al Capone suite. Now they call it that because when they used to stay there, well, he used to stay specifically in that room. One of his best friends, one of these mafia gangster guys, got shot and killed right in front of the door of the room. And to this day, people say that he haunts the hotel. So, I'm here on a Thursday night, I'm talking all this crap talk. Hey, you guys know this place is haunted? And they're like, oh, yeah, blah. So then the next day, Friday morning, uh, we have breakfast. I'm with my mom, and I tell her, hey, let's go to the 13th floor.
Like,
And
why?
I'm an adventurous guy, and I wanted to, I wanted to
See some
adventure up
ghosts?
there.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to know until you see it though.
No,
Exactly. So
no.
it gets better. So there's only one elevator that takes you up to the 13th floor. So we get in that elevator and I press 13 and it's not letting me go up there. So I tell my mom, well, here's an easy solution. We'll press 14 and we'll just take the stairs down. And she's like, oh, okay, whatever. We get to 14. We open the door into the stairway, and my mom says, okay, let me just make sure, like when we leave, whatever, we can come back and the door is open. So she opens the door again, And she's like, okay, it's open. We can just leave through here. So we're like, okay, whatever. We go down to the 13th floor. We open the door, and legit, it's just the door where the guy got shot and killed in front of it, a bench, and an elevator. That's all there is. And then we're like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. We close the door. Here's where it gets weird. We go up back to the 14th floor to leave. When we get up there, the door is locked.
Oh.
And then my mom was like, and then I was like, whatever. We'll just go back to the 13th floor and we'll take the elevator down. So you go back to the 13th floor, the door is locked.
Oh
And
my
both of
goodness.
those doors were just open. And we're standing there and the light randomly, like I'm not kidding, I'm not making this up, the light randomly turned on. And we go to the 12th floor, it was locked. 11th floor, it was locked. 10th floor was locked until finally we got to the 9th floor and we were able to get out and then get the elevator and go down. And my mom, we were in the car. My mom was she was bitching at me. She was saying all this Spanish stuff. She's like, "Me cago en tu madre." I was like, well, you were joking about it. You didn't believe me, but there it is.
Yeah.
And I don't know. When I was on the 13th floor after seeing that door was locked, I'm not kidding you guys. Like, I don't know. I felt like there was something that didn't want us to be there.
Had to be.
And it was a very hostile environment. There was something that was not very welcoming. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to get out of here. So that was my bad story.
What was your mom saying to you?
Brandon, you know Spanish, right?
A little bit, but I think I probably wouldn't say it on the channel.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to find a way how to translate this into English.
There's no other way to translate that, though. It's
yeah.
It's all good. You can tell me later.
But I'll tell you later.
Wow.
But yeah,
that's scary.
I actually I'm actually, so you guys know I'm a Christian, but like I actually believe in those sort of things. Like those sort of things actually like exist.
Al Capone was trying to keep you downstairs.
Oh yeah, he doesn't want. And the bad thing is that you can actually rent that room. So the hotel doesn't rent that room out unless the hotel's at capacity. If it is at capacity, they rent it out and they actually make you sign a waiver.
And something has happened.
It's that bad, but they still have the room available?
And they know that shit's haunted.
Yeah, I mean, how else would they not, like, a whole waiver for what, the spirit world? You know what I mean? Like
a waiver just to make sure if something happens, you know, it's not their fault. You decided to take the risk and stay in that room.
That's insane. I don't even think that's even, like, if you ask me, they might as well just like have that room just for storage, you know, and just figure out, you know, to go on from there. Don't even have the people going inside. It's
a creepy place, man. I'm not gonna lie, especially at night. It's a creepy place.
Yeah, that sounds. Yeah, I mean, that sounds
But
like
anyway,
a Netflix series. I don't know.
I don't want to talk about any more spirits or anything like that. You know,
keep the chat cleansed.
Yeah. Anya made a good choice in starting this off with the bad news. So
yeah, because now we got something good to talk about.
Start us off with the good news. Go ahead.
I guess great news is that the semester's finally over.
Yes.
Yeah. The semester had hands. The semester wanted to fight, wanted to body, wanted his own UFC. Just wanted to fight. It was a lot, but I'm glad it's over.
Brandon, how about you, man?
I'm gonna have to second that. All right, I had to deal with finals. I don't know how I got through them, but I got through them. You know what I mean? So I'm happy enough to say I'm probably gonna be on the dean's list. You know, all B's. You
Congrats,
know,
man.
something light. You know, something. You know, something to get through the holidays. But I'm just glad the finals are done, though.
Hey man, Anya's living her best life. She posted on Snapchat. She posting she got that view at the BBC campus of the ocean and all this stuff. I'm like, this girl's living her best life over here.
My goodness, on Biscayne?
Yes. But okay. I'm at home. This is my room at home.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I
And
can't third that because I'm kind of an old person and I already graduated. Uh, but my plug of the week is going to have to be Columbus alumni Marcus Lemonis showed up to our school uh, this past week and donated 18K to every single employee that works at the high school and gave 10 million to our broadcast program to be able to help our kids and anything that we need. And it was a big blessing because we're going in February to Los Angeles to compete in the national competition, and there were some kids who didn't have the money raised yet in order to go. And through that generous donation, they don't need to worry about it anymore. And we're gonna have sufficient funds to be able to take them over to Los Angeles, and they can compete for the title. So it was crazy, man. There was a lot of emotional, especially teachers, janitors, everyone in the staff, receiving that 18K from
Yeah,
him. And it was crazy, man. It was really crazy. No one knew what was gonna happen. It was just a very surprise, sudden thing. He just showed up, and they quickly put together like a little press conference with the background, and he was like, "I'm giving 18K to every single person that works on the staff here," and donated more money to our broadcast program.
yeah. I mean, I saw that on Twitter and the reaction videos. I mean that was incredible though. To come
Yeah,
back to your own community, especially in South Florida, and just give back to that high school. I mean, of course. I mean, I didn't even knew about the broadcast side for the students on that high school, but I mean that's incredible though because 18,000 for teachers, especially during the holidays. I mean that's just huge for the school. I mean, not even
yeah.
yes.
for academically, but for life.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, actually, my colleague at the broadcast program, he's about to have a son, second kid, and
Oh,
he was like, "Man, that 18K, like that just started my son's life. Like he just got set up perfectly to start his life." So it was great. It was really great.
That's really good.
So I don't know if you guys were able to watch it, but UFC 269 is our first topic. Uh,
yes.
it was it was really interesting. There was things that happened that I didn't expect to happen. Like Amanda Nunes tapped, Dustin Poirier tapped, and I was very surprised. Again, I really didn't expect for those two things to happen. I mean, Amanda Nunes is probably one of the best female fighters ever, and made her tap. Pena made her tap, and it's extremely crazy.
I mean, it's absolutely bizarre to see something like that. I mean, not even that, just the second round of that fight with Emmanuel Nunez. I mean, there were straight haymakers thrown at each other.
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
it wasn't like, a lot of like, technique. I mean, now in the UFC and martial arts, you see more people using the legs and kind of like strategizing throughout the entire rounds. I mean, Juliana went and attacked her. She went for the belt. And I don't think there's any type of doubt who won that second round and who won that fight. But of course, I mean, Nunez, I mean, it was a real quick tap. Of course, you're going for naked rear chokehold, but it was a real quick tap. I mean, I thought there'd be a little bit more fight out of that one. Only went to 2 rounds, but what a second round that was. I mean, that was just one for the books, in my honest opinion. And then the Dustin one, I mean, I feel like honestly, this fight, the biggest result I can find from this is that you know a fourth competition for McGregor and Dustin is now possible. It's now possible. I mean, McGregor coming off an injury, you don't want him coming from rehab to go back into a championship, bout. You want to slowly progress back to that, that level that, he expects himself to be. And I don't know if you guys seen the recent pictures of McGregor, but
he's
he is bulking.
he is
He's
bulking.
he's bulking. I don't know if he'll be in the same weight class, but if he is, he's got to be 1% body fat,
He is
guaranteed.
he is definitely bulking. And let me tell you, I thought Dustin was gonna go away with it because first round he even dropped Oliveira in that first round. I thought, oh, Dustin looked like he's gonna put him away. But
Oh yeah.
Charles Oliveira is a guy who's all about submissions and got him with that rear naked chokehold, and it was all over for Poirier, and he tapped, and he was honestly looking like McGregor on the floor. But honestly, dude, like, has there ever been two fighters that have fought each other four times like that in the UFC?
I mean, if there is, it's got to be somewhere near the history books of like the early 2000s, because I never heard that recently in recent history. But I mean, if it does happen, I feel like I don't know how the venue would look like, because it's got to be some place where they're trying to introduce more UFC, fights at. You know how they did Jacksonville earlier in the year. I mean, they
Mm-hmm.
got to do another. From what would hope to see, one in Miami. You got to do a UFC fight in Miami. You can bring in McGregor. There's a lot of McGregor fans down here in South Florida. And if you can probably have Mazadov down there as well, I mean, that'll be a huge night for at least South Floridian fighters. Because, I mean, the UFC, the world of UFC, I mean, a lot of those fighters come out of Coral Gables. They come out of Hialeah. They come out of South Florida.
Yeah.
So it'll be nice to see. If there is a fourth one, it has to be at least in one of those markets that haven't been touched yet. But, I mean, it's possible.
I think that there's a lot of possible options for Conor McGregor. You have a rematch, a third trilogy fight against Nate Diaz, possible. You got people been begging for McGregor against Masvidal for a while
Oh, my
now.
goodness.
Been begging for a while now. We got another option against Poirier, and then he actually tweeted this afternoon. He was like, "So when do I get my shot at fighting Charles Oliveira?" So that I don't know. That might happen too. You never know.
I mean,
That's
it's possible. It's possible.
the thing about Connor is that he can keep losing, man. But since he's the poster boy of the UFC, they're always gonna give him title shot after title shot, even if he doesn't
Yeah.
deserve it. So that's the thing. But you're right. They should have it in a market like Miami. I think a McGregor Masvidal in Miami, to be honest, makes sense.
Yeah, that would definitely make sense. But I mean, I don't know, because I feel like if they do put Mazadov there, I feel like that'll be within the first two rounds. Mazadov wins that one easy. To me personally, I don't feel like McGregor. I'm not saying anything negative, but of course, weight class, fight style, Mazadov. I mean, he came from straight street fighting in Hialeah. McGregor, he came from a whole nother world in Ireland, but street fighting in South Florida is just a different. I mean, it's a different breed. I mean, we're talking about Mazadov having what, the quickest knockout ever in UFC, 5 seconds.
Yeah, but you know what, man? Ireland's tough, man. It's kind of the same thing. You got to fight on the streets in Ireland. It's kind of tough over there too.
Yeah, I mean that's true, but like you're going to Miami though with a Cuban American. I mean, it's just a whole different world.
Yeah, yeah. It looks like we just lost Anya. She looks like she was testing her connection. She'll be back
Oh,
on here shortly, but um, I don't know, man. But I personally would love to see either a McGregor, Nate Diaz trilogy. I think that's
right,
like the real OG, like OG fight. I think the fans deserve that. Or
right.
I think people would be really tired of seeing Poirier and McGregor. Like it's the fourth time, man. Like just
Yeah.
give it up.
And we're not really expecting a different result either, I mean, we're expecting Dustin to probably win that one as well.
Yeah, I think the only reason why it keeps happening is because I think him and Dustin really do have personal beef with each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I haven't been following that one as much as I have, but my sources of MMA, I mean, they're looking at Dustin to go down in some of the matches he's gonna have. He's not gonna be fighting for the belt for at least a year or so. At least a
Yeah,
year or so. So
yeah. Let's talk some football, man. Dolphins. This is interesting. Five in a row, and Anya is back, and she has
Anya's
a face
back.
of defeat. Oh, and there's the volume again.
Oh my goodness.
I
Oh
just
my.
tested it.
There we go.
There we
There we
go.
go.
Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
You made
Perfect.
it right on time to talk some football.
Great. Something.
Dolphins. Dolphins five
Yes.
in a row. They have a perfect opportunity. They had a bye week this weekend, but they have the perfect opportunity coming up to make it six in a row. They're playing the Jets, and we all know for the last decade the Jets have been absolute garbage. I don't think that's a hot take. It's just facts.
I think I looked it
Uh,
up, and I think they hadn't won like a championship in like since like the 1900s.
yeah,
Yeah.
Joe Namath. I think when Joe Namath was on the Jets, it was like the last time that they won something, and it's sad,
Yep.
but it is what it
19,
is. Yeah, that's bad. That is really bad. Uh, my take on it is even if the Dolphins they're in the hunt right now, they have a chance to kind of sweep into a wild card spot. I'm not sure they'll get there. Uh, they're definitely not going to win the AFC East. We all know New England now is kind of going back and forth with Buffalo, but New England, to be honest, looks like they might run away with the AFC East. But the Dolphins it's been surprising these 5 games. It's been really surprising, but they've also played some really bad teams. I think probably the most impressive win that's come out of this streak was against the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
for me personally, though, because before even the season started, I looked at this schedule and I thought we would have at least 10 wins before the season started. And of course, Tua's injury, broken ribs, you go 3 games without him, and you have close ones like the one we had against Oakland in week 3. But now we're talking about 5 straight wins. We're talking Super Bowl right now. This is where we really catch on fire. The hardest team we play right now is probably New England, which will be in Miami January 9th, will be the last game of the year. Now, we're 6-7 currently. We have a multiple about 4 to 5 different teams right now that we're battling with a wild card, about a game ahead of us. Now, Bills losing 2 straight. And believe it or not, it was against a Tom Brady Bucks and a Bill Belichick Patriots. I don't know how they double teamed the Bills there, but they did it. So Bills losing 2 straight. They're on a losing streak right now. We keep on this hot streak going against the Jets at home. And then we go on the road. We have to go against, of course, the Saints and then the Titans later on in the future. However, the AFC is there to take. I mean, it's a lot of matchups that are going to be hard. Oakland Raiders are still have to, go on against their division. Of course, the Broncos and the Chargers are their future. And then you have other teams such as the AFC North, Pittsburgh, the Browns, and the Ravens all have to beat each other up just to even get a playoff spot in. And who knows? I mean, this is probably Ben's last year with Pittsburgh. And then Baltimore, Lamar Jackson right now, from what I'm concerned, is out. That's what I'm concerned right now. If Lamar doesn't come back, the Ravens are going to drop out of a playoff spot. So the Dolphins, their path is there. Mathematically, is it a good one? No, of course not. I mean, you're talking about a team that has only won 5 games straight right now, 13th in AFC, but it's possible. And we have to keep the faith. We have the easiest schedule right now out there in the AFC. And if we don't make it this year, next year, I don't know if you've seen the schedule of next year, but it doesn't get easier than this.
I'm gonna let Anya give her take because I got something to say to that take. But Anya, go ahead, say what you got to say.
Honestly, I think there's hope for the Dolphins. They have been coming back since Tua came back, and I just know that they're not gonna have Gaskin play because of the whole COVID thing, and they are losing players. I think that's just happening all throughout sports, but I don't know. I just have hope a little bit, like the rest of the Miami Dolphins fans. They just come through with pride and they show up and they're like, oh, we'll see today, even though they had like that really bad losing streak in the beginning. But now they're bouncing back, so we'll see.
You guys finished? Both of you guys done?
Oh my
Yes,
goodness.
you
I
can
want
go
to
ahead.
know what juice are you guys sipping on because I'd like to know where to get it.
It's the Miami
Honestly, I
Dolphins
think
defense. That's the juice I'm sipping on
yes.
every single week. Every single week.
You
The
know,
def-
at least Anya was a respectable take. She said, "Oh yeah, I got hope." You said Super Bowl and the Dolphins in the same
yeah, I
sentence.
don't
Hey,
know
they
about
didn't make the Super Bowl
Super
song in
Bowl
the 70s for no reason, all right? They did that with
in the
purpose.
70s.
We
Yes,
weren't even alive.
when you're talking Dolphins, you're talking Super Bowl. You can't forget it. It's the slogan.
Yeah, 50 years ago.
But hey, I mean, I'll tell you what though. I mean, of course, there is a path, and I do know that a Super Bowl is obviously outstretched, especially when you look at the AFC. But the AFC is busted open, especially with the Chiefs and the Bills and all these different teams that are looking
Oh
a
wait,
little bit
wait, wait, wait.
sluggish throughout
Hold
the
up,
year.
hold up. The Chiefs are back. Don't
Yeah,
don't. The
well, the
Chiefs are back.
defense, yes, the Chiefs are back. I've seen that defense. It's probably the number one defense in the NFL in the past 3 weeks. However, what I'm trying to say is though, we can make a wild card spot and possibly compete in the AFC. Possibly, depending on the offense.
You can make a wild card spot, and I think you're one and done. That's about it.
Come on, you have to
Those are
have.
fighting words. Are y'all gonna
Yeah,
brawl?
no, I'm just saying, I'm gonna just leave it that the team itself has a Super Bowl caliber defense besides the pass rush, which is building slowly because of course you have young guys out there. However, if the offense just catches on fire, and we've seen it with Waddle, who I believe 15 receptions away from beating the most receptions by a rookie. I mean, it's possible. It's possible. I'm not saying Super Bowl, but you make at least a wild card, you get a close win. I mean,
I
that's far as I think it will go. But to me, I really do feel like they have a better chance than some of these other teams in the AFC, like the Raiders or the Browns, of making the playoffs.
I'd like to think that my team has a lot more of a chance than the Dolphins do.
The Dallas Cowboys.
The Dallas Cowboys. How
This
about them
man.
Cowboys?
I have to admit, that was a hell of a win. That was a hell of a win at Sunday.
We have a rookie in Micah Parsons in the defense who's probably going to be Defensive Player of the Year as a rookie. We got Neville Gallimore back. We have DeMarcus Lawrence back. That defense, we got Diggs, who's leading the league in interceptions with 9 right now. And then, that defense is taking Dallas as far as they can go. It's the offense right now. If the offense can play as they were playing in the first half of the season, that's a Super Bowl right there for the Dallas Cowboys.
What's their ranking in their conference?
First. Well, in the NFC East, they're in first.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth in the NFC, the 4th seed. But you know what? We're tied. I believe we're tied with the Buccaneers right now, I believe.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm telling you right now, because for the Cowboys, the road is open. The road is definitely open for them to at least make the playoffs and go deep. The real question is, how does the bracket lay out at the end of the year? Because if you guys have to go, like, let's say you get that first round bye, however, you still have to go against one of these NFC West teams. I mean, that's going to be a harder road to climb.
So, Brandon, we would stay in the 4th seed in the NFC. Our path would probably, as it stands right now, would be the Rams in the first round. Then we'd have to probably face Arizona in the second round, and then whoever we get in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, I mean that it's possible. Don't get me wrong. I feel like the defense is up for that challenge, but I mean that's going to be a hard, mountain to climb, though. It really is
a hard mountain to climb, but you know what, guys? If the Cowboys make it to the Super Bowl, you guys not going to want to be on Plug Talk Sports anymore because you won't hear it for an entire off season. The entire off season, I will come on here every Monday night and talk about how the Cowboys made the Super Bowl, how I have suffered for 23 years of my life, and I finally had the chance to gloat about the Cowboys.
Every Monday?
Every single Monday.
You're just gonna have that banner right behind.
Oh, I will set it up. I'll freaking put Dak Prescott up here, Ezekiel Elliott. I'll put the whole team back here. Every Monday, don't forget. And I'll put my cowboy hat on too.
Oh my goodness, man.
We shall see. Mm-hmm. Continuing on with football, we'll talk about a little college football news here. And this is another topic that I'm going to roll my eyes because I know Brandon has another take to say about it. But Mario Cristobal, which I will say is a Columbus guy, which I'm very proud that he's leading the program. You guys openly know that I don't like the Miami Hurricanes. But Mario Cristobal has become the head coach of the Hurricanes. Again, I'm happy he's a Columbus guy leading the program, but I don't like the Hurricanes. Brandon, I know you're going to say some crazy wild stuff like, oh, we're going to the national championship.
Oh, I'm not gonna go that far. Believe me, I'm not gonna go that far. However, what I would say is just the start of something new. It really is. Because Cristobal, I feel like after 3 years of Manny Diaz, it really does give like a new opportunity for the recruitment to really blow up. Because we're talking about a guy that put Oregon on, the national ranking and at least competitive with the college playoff rankings for multiple years. Either that he had Herbert or now with, the defensive guys that they have coming out for this year's draft in the first round out of Oregon. Cristobal, a South Floridian product, coming back to Miami. And he's going to bring in more Miami guys. I mean, of course, right now in the state of Florida, we're getting out recruited by, the University of Florida right now, of course, because the SEC obviously was going to get, the majority of the guys coming out to your university. However, now it changes the whole landscape. Within the next couple of years, and I can only give UM 3 years, we should make it to at least an ACC championship to at least make it to the ACC championship. Am I saying that they're going to make it to the college playoffs? Of course not. Michigan is finally finding their groove in things with Harbaugh. And then, of course, Alabama is going to be there. And the SEC is just going to keep on growing with Kirby, of course, in Georgia, building the program out of a bunch of walk-ons, but still competing to now where he's in the college playoffs, going to play in the Orange Bowl coming up New Year's Eve. So does this make a huge step in the right direction? Of course. Are we talking national championship? Of course not. That's too soon to say. It's too soon to say.
Anya, you got any thoughts on University of Coral Gables, as I like to call them?
University of Coral Gables. Not really. I haven't really been keeping up with their season. Unless you've been into basketball right now.
Well, they are playing Washington State in what they call. Listen to this. They're playing in a bowl game called the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. That just says it all. I'll leave it there. Yeah, Anya, you can continue. I just had to put that.
Frosted Flakes.
Yes.
Should be interesting.
Who names these things?
I don't know, but doesn't he play baseball in like the promotional ads? Like,
yeah, I think they got the wrong sport.
They got the wrong mascot or whatever.
How do you even get a team hyped up for that? Guys, we have to win this right now for the Frosted Flakes and a good balanced breakfast.
A good balanced breakfast.
Come on.
What's the chant in the beginning of the commercials?
You're talking about they're great?
Yeah. We're great or something like that. Just imagine. That's crazy. And they're playing against who? Washington State?
Washington State.
Is it here?
No.
It's in Arizona, right? I believe so.
I'm not too positive because I know that the Fiesta Bowl is actually going to be one of the college playoff games. But if it's going to be in Arizona, it's got to be like in some random city, though.
Hey, I don't know. It's just how can you promote Frosted Flakes, which is just cereal full of sugar? That's what it is for a sporting event. Ain't no one of these athletes eat Frosted Flakes during the season. That's just full of sugar.
You have to come for Frosted Flakes. You really don't have to come for Frosted Flakes.
I had to. It's not good for you.
It's not, but hey, man, it got me through the day.
Do you still eat Frosted Flakes?
No, I'm not a cereal eater, to be honest, because I kind of got over the whole eating dry cereal thing because I don't like milk. But it was one of my favorites.
I will tell you, there is this one cereal my friend got me into. It's called Oreos. And it's legit Oreos in cereal form. It is the best thing ever.
That's not straight sugar.
Yeah, but that's not even a cereal. It's
not a cereal.
It is a cereal.
It's just Oreos in a bowl. You just can't call that a cereal.
Literally, you can crunch Oreos into a bowl and call it the same thing.
You might as well just call it a soup, like an Oreo soup.
You guys are just haters, is what it is.
Bro, you're hating on Frosted Flakes.
Frosted Flakes is Oreos.
But you're coming back with Oreo cereal.
Frosted Flakes will never touch Oreos.
I'm just saying, you're literally putting two big bags of sugar next to each other and fighting about it.
Haven't you heard the slogan? It's America's favorite cookie.
Cookie, not cereal.
But they made it into a cereal.
Okay. You win.
You know what? That's fine. Next week's debate will be about cereals.
Okay, I'm down.
I already
So-
got a list.
Me too.
I'm gonna give you my take. I'm gonna give you my take on Miami hiring Mario Cristobal. He's a hell of a coach. I think he's a great coach. Here's my thing. If Mario can't get it done at Miami, then the program should just give up. Because if he can't get it done, then nobody can. The program is just lost. They should just forget about it if he can't get it done. You know, we've seen over the years, it happened with Manny Diaz. Oh, he's a Miami guy. He knows the system. He understands the system. Randy Shannon. Oh, he's a Miami guy. He understands. He knows what it is to be part of the U. None of those guys, especially Mark Richt and Al Golden, none of those guys worked out and being quote unquote Miami guys. And then, you know what happens is that they end up just firing these coaches, and they still owe, even up to Al Golden, money. And, you know, if you're a student, and I'm sorry to break your hearts if you're a student at University of Miami, but half of your tuition is going to these coaches in $1 million football program for just pure mediocrity, which is what they've been for the last 12, 13 years. So I love Mario. I know one of the big reasons, I mean, obviously he's a Columbus guy, and then he coached at FIU and was probably now under Butch Davis most successful coach at FIU. I know a big reason why he's here is that his mother is sick, and she was in the hospital. So I think that's a big reason why he took the job to come back home. But again, if Mario can't get it done, then I think that there's absolutely no hope for that program.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's just it definitely tells you something though, because of course a lot of this really changed because if you're watching, College Game Day on Saturday on ESPN,
Yeah.
when Herb Herstry had that conversation with, the entire world about the University of Miami's program in football, it really blew everything out of proportion. It blew everybody's mind off the roof where, now it's, everybody's exposed. They got a new coach, the whole athletics program over there had to change. I mean, it's the whole culture of itself has had to change now. So I do feel like this is only the first stop that they take. As I said before, sound like a repeated record every single time I say this, but it's the first step to something big. It really is the first step to something big. It's nothing, to bloat about. Of course, like Cristobal was probably one of those top 5 coaches out there in the whole hiring carousel that are looking at in college football. But the fact that Miami was even a consideration for him, it's huge because there's a lot of people that were talking about this might never happen. He might not even consider Miami on his radar. So the fact that he came back, of course, family reasons as well being involved with his mom, but it's really huge just to even get him in the building. It really is.
Yeah. Now, we're going to talk about something else that the University of Miami has been trying to do, which I think is absolutely just absurd. It's insane.
Why?
Honestly, I don't want to say, it'll never happen because it's Miami. At this point, you can tip off the city of Miami commissioners with a bag of money and anything can happen. But there is this one, I know his last name is Ruiz. I don't know his first name. I can't recall at the moment, but he's this business guy. I think he's an alum of University of Miami that he wants to give University of Miami their own football stadium. They want to have it near campus. And this was their first proposition, which I thought was crazy. And it just reminds me, if you guys were into SpongeBob, where Patrick goes, why don't we just get Bikini Bottom and move it somewhere else? Like, this is what their logic was. They literally want to take out Coral Gables Senior High School, which Isaac, by the way, who's not on here tonight, but Isaac is an alumni from Coral Gables Senior High School. When he heard this news, he was like, this cannot happen. But they want to take out the high school so they can build this stadium that wants to fit 55,000. And that gives me another reason not to like the University of Miami, because
Yeah.
for their own investment to have a football stadium and splurge millions of dollars into this, and you're displacing a bunch of kids and their education. And where are these kids going to go? What's going to happen to Coral Gables High School? Like, it's an insane, if you guys have ever passed by Coral Gables High School, the traffic there is unbearable already. Imagine putting a huge football stadium there. It makes no sense to me.
It doesn't make sense. To be quite honest, I can see them getting another stadium only because, like, sharing the Hard Rock, I don't know, I feel like it just does something to the morale, especially because it's
Yeah.
not that close to Coral Gables and, like, students, like, oh, go to a football game, go to a football game. And they're going
Yeah.
all the way out to where the Hard Rock is. So I
Yeah.
think that getting a new stadium would be nice, but doing that would be disadvantageous to the high schoolers, because at the end of the day, I don't know. I feel like once you reach high school, that's that part where it's just like at the end of like sports, it's not all business. I think that's like your high school career. It's going to be a lot different. So I don't know, taking away their young student life in a sense by just doing all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I mean, like, but personally though, because of course, I mean, I've heard some word in Hard Rock Stadium, they actually, discontinue their contract with Hard Rock Stadium to even play games for the upcoming years. So, I mean, the only assumption they could possibly move to Marlins Park for the meantime. But if they are looking for something that's, I mean, even they try to do this idea of removing an entire high school, which is just about insane as you can think of. I mean,
Yeah.
a college campus having a football program with a team that goes to a stadium almost an hour away, I mean, it's demoralizing. I mean, I have
Yeah.
had a couple of people that went to games that go to the University of Miami, and they have to take a shuttle back and forth back and forth. I mean, it's ridiculous because a lot of those people go there to
Traffic.
tailgate. You can't just have the people out there for the entire game, and then it's like, oh, let's go back to campus and let's go like to whatever. But they have to take a shuttle that's like an hour long. You know what I mean? I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, if you're tailgating as an alumni and you just black out in the middle of the parking lot at 9 a.m. and you have to take a shuttle back to your car for an entire hour, I mean, what kind of sense is that? So I
Yeah,
think the idea, I mean, it's a right idea for a former alumni. If they do have money, they want to put a stadium on campus. I say, that's perfect. But in the sense of putting something near Coral Gables, I mean, there's no way you can
There's no
even,
space.
yeah, there's no space.
it's
What I would
unattainable.
say is what they can possibly do, and this probably is going to be just making more situations. You can possibly put it in Homestead or find something that's near Coral Gables but outside. Of course, I'm not too familiar because I am from Broward County, but Miami-Dade, there is a lot of space when you get closer to Florida City. So if
Even that's a drive from Coral Gables.
exactly, exactly. So I mean, it really doesn't get any better. However, I mean, to have a unique stadium for yourself would be huge. It'll be huge. I live like about not like within an hour away from the stadium itself. So to go from games and everything like that, I mean, about 95% of the ticket sales are from alumni. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, the people that go to university don't even go to cheer on their own team half of the time, unless the team is like 2017 Braxton Berrios or Brad Kyers, like something to even watch that you don't want to see on TV at like a Coral Gables instead of taking that whole drive on a shuttle. So I mean, it's a huge move for the University of Miami if they could pull it off, but if they do, they're gonna make a lot of locals unhappy. A lot.
Now, here's the second option, which it gets better. Their second proposition was to buy out Tropical Park away from the county and build the stadium in the Tropical Park ground. And it's like then you're taking up an entire parkland that people use. I mean, if you've been to Tropical Park on a Sunday, that place is packed with
To take
families
out
and
the
kids.
Mecca, oh my.
yeah, just take away Tropical Park from the county and just building your football stadium there. But I will tell you this, and Brandon, you as a season ticket holder, I think you would find this quite funny. I find it quite funny. So we know for years now that Inter Miami has been trying to develop that site, which they're going to call Miami Freedom Park, at the
Yeah.
Mel Reese Golf and Country Club near the airport. Wouldn't it be so funny if University of Miami just comes in and like the next day they just say, "All right, here's our stadium," and like Inter Miami doesn't get their stadium? It's like it's crazy. But
Defense.
yeah. The last I heard is that this guy took a helicopter. He actually posted on his Twitter. Took a helicopter uh, to go scout some lands in the county area to see where they can potentially put this stadium.
I don't know, man, because if they take away that land from David Beckham, I feel it will go into straight World War III, England versus United States, if that's the case. I'm pretty sure
Oh,
David Beckham would have everybody in London going nuts to help him out.
if he takes that land, man, if he takes that land, Beckham's taking Inter Miami and just continuing the franchise and moving it to some other city.
He'll just take it to like I don't even know where, like somewhere like in like Boise, Idaho.
Las Vegas, eh? Las Vegas doesn't have a team.
Oh yeah, that's true. In Vegas, I mean,
Yeah.
you know what it is for Vegas to have a
Mhm.
hockey team before an NBA team. I mean,
And even they had him for an NFL team because the Raiders moved over there,
no, yeah,
but
no,
they
yeah,
had a hockey team before anybody.
yeah. I mean, honestly, I think Vegas is actually prime land, really, if you want to build any other franchise.
Yeah, I agree. And continue on the note of college football. So we have the top four. They'll be competing in the playoffs. We have Alabama taking on Cincinnati, and then you got Michigan, who will be taking on. Let me check my notes here. I forgot who the fourth and final team was. Um, Georgia. That's right, Georgia. Let me tell you, I feel bad for Cincinnati because they've had a hell of a year. Let's congratulate them. I think that they've had a hell of a year,
Right.
but yeah, it's over for them. They had a nice run. They made it to the playoff. You know, they won their conference. They got to celebrate that, but the celebration's over because Alabama and the newly crowned Heisman winner Bryce Young is going to murder them. And Alabama's back into the national championship, which some way or somehow, unfortunately, Nick Saban and Alabama are back into the national championship, and somehow again they won their conference.
Right.
What's interesting for me is Georgia and Michigan. I'm not too sure about that one, man. I feel that maybe Michigan can pull it off and find themselves in the national championship game.
Yes, yes. I've been trying to put this through everybody's head because I'm not saying I don't believe in Georgia or never really did believe in Georgia, but we're talking about a Georgia defense who didn't allow a touchdown the entire year. But you're trying to tell me their hardest competition during that year was Kentucky and Arkansas, two great teams, two with phenomenal offenses, especially Arkansas's Jefferson. However, you go against Alabama, against Bryce Young and a bunch of first round guys on the offense, and you get absolutely blasted. I
Yeah.
mean, they just got shell shocked. There's no doubt about that. They got uppercut. No one was even expecting that coming out of the Georgia defense to give up 24 in the first half, over 200 yards in the passing game. I mean, and the rushing game was over 150 yards as well for Alabama. But is Georgia going to compete against Michigan? That's the real question. Now, I don't know if you know this, but Michigan has a couple of guys out there, one of them being a Heisman candidate on defense. They're passing against, I mean, of course, Stroud in that historical Ohio State game, but I mean, they got dogs out there. They got guys that can actually compete defensively against some of the top people out there in college football. I mean, we're talking about a dominant Big Ten, a dominant win over multiple contenders. Michigan will absolutely, I'm not saying it's not going to be a blowout, but I'm saying they're going to absolutely win out this team. Okay. I don't believe that it's going to be based on the Georgia defense if they can shut down Michigan's offense. It's going to be about if can Georgia's offense even compete against a Michigan defense with Jim Harbaugh calling.
So okay, it's fair to say then we both have Alabama and Michigan in the national title game. Who do you have then there in that national title game? Is it Bama or Michigan?
Oof. Well, the thing is, though, I love Alabama's Bryce Young. The kid's really phenomenal as a sophomore. Of course, not even, I believe, probably even 5'10" if you really look at him. But you're talking about a guy that's having at least 40 touchdowns already, which I think tied Tua for at least the
Yeah.
program's record for most in the regular season. And, Menchie, of course, the Canadian, we're still questionable about his injury. So we don't know if he's going to even play in the Cincinnati one for the Fiesta Bowl. But no matter a loss in the wide receiver group, the team is still going to dominate. Now, can Michigan keep up with the punches? I don't believe so. I believe that, Alabama has a quick offense. Of course, the passing game is going to be a little bit more than what they can handle because, I mean, the entire conference that they play in the Big Ten, it's a run straight defense. Now, what they did against Ohio State, it was impressive. I mean, you hold them to about 24 points or so. However, is it going to be you're going against Ohio State, who had a really probably one of the best passing games in college football midway through the year, or you're going against a Bryce Young and a Nick Saban offense that's in full stride, that's in roll tide stride? Now, that's the real question. I feel like Alabama will probably win that one because of the offense, but it's going to be a close one. I really do believe.
I'm gonna have a hot take. I'm gonna go Michigan all the way. Michigan wins the national
All the
championship.
way. Go blue all the way.
Yep. Anya, what's your take? Who do you got? Who do you think is gonna win the national championship? Come out of those playoff matchups.
I'd have to go with Alabama.
Okay, she's going with roll tide.
Only because I just took a look at their stats and they're doing really good this season. So I'm gonna just throw that right there.
She's playing it safe. She's making the safe pick. I wanted to be a little risky this year and be like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go against the odds. I'm gonna go with Michigan.
Why would you go with Michigan this year?
Why? I think tail end of this season, especially coming off of the Ohio State victory, I think they got momentum. They got momentum with them. They're playing aggressive. They're just playing like they want it. And I feel like maybe this Alabama team, and yeah, Bryce Young is fantastic. Brandon, you just mentioned everything that makes him great. He's only just a sophomore. And I think that this is a Michigan team, especially with Coach Harbaugh. It's a Michigan team that's hungry.
Yeah.
It feels like they can take, after that Ohio State game, I think that Michigan team has the mentality to think they can take out anybody.
Yeah, I mean, and that's huge going, especially in the playoffs. But if you ask me honestly, do I truly believe that Michigan can come into not even that, a national championship? This is going to be the first for Jim Harbaugh in his collegiate career as a coach.
Yeah.
So we're talking about inexperience against an experienced coach and experienced program. That's the real question, Of course, Bryce Young is going to perform, but can the coaching staff of Michigan get these players prepared to even compete if they do make it to that national championship? I don't believe so. Of course, there's a lot of talent in that team that will make it a close game, but there's too many questions on the table right now of this Michigan team because we're talking about basically the last week of the regular season. They made the top 4 over Ohio State from that win. So there's a lot of unknown, especially of people that, are not really too familiar with the college landscape and the football and the NCAA. But Ohio State was there in the top 4 for so long, and we felt like it was kind of a guarantee that it was a manifest destiny that they'll make it to the promised land of winning their conference and going against, of course, Alabama for a two-peat. But, it's a lot of questions. It's a lot of questions.
I'll tell you a quick little story before we head to the trivia question about Coach Harbaugh. So Josh Uche, who's actually now on the Patriots, graduated from Columbus with me, played at Michigan. Coach Harbaugh is an interesting person. This guy would make them go up the mountain, run back down, just doing sprints, but he would run with them. And there was one time where these guys, his players, started passing him. He started getting upset about that, so he started full-on sprint. So they get to the top of the mountain, and he just pukes all over the place. And after he pukes, he looks at them, and he's like, what are you guys looking at? Let's go. He's like, I'm beating you guys. And just starts running back down the mountain. And everyone was like, okay, well,
Oh
that's
my,
the type of guy Coach Harbaugh is.
Whoa, intense.
that's a lot of motivation. Oh my
Yeah.
Yeah,
goodness.
he's an intense guy. But let's end the night on our trivia question, which if you guys, which I think you guys did, but you guys had the answer on there on the document on our pre-show document. But the trivia question is: there's two FIU football players this season that surpassed historical records held by Alex Magoo and T.Y. Hilton. Who were those two players? Mind you, one of them just entered the transfer portal. Okay,
Well,
Anya. Anya,
well,
it looked like she's on.
I don't know. Anya, you want to go first with the guess? Cause
I want to guess the one that went into the transfer portal.
Okay.
Is it Tyrese?
It is Tyrese Chambers, yes.
Okay, I just wanted to guess that.
He passed the receiving record and he passed T.Y. Hilton. I don't think he's getting enough credit because no one's making a big deal about it. Like,
oh
you just
yeah,
passed T.Y. Hilton. Like, that was the best player in program history.
yeah, I know. I mean, not even that. Ty, so he's over the walls, all over the walls at FIU Stadium. But the other player, though, that we're going to be mentioning in this topic is Max Bornschlager as well.
Yep.
The connection, I mean, as unfortunate as it was of a year for the football program for FIU, I mean, it was so much fun to watch Max Bornschlager and the Tyrese connection. It was so fun watching that, the deep balls. And really, I mean, of course, I mean, that connection with the vertical route, I mean, it helped them both, break these records. I don't think there's a doubt about that.
They went obviously 1-11. It was a poor year, and obviously a new head coach now, new athletic director. But I don't think that those two guys. I don't think that they got enough credit for passing these historical records. Not really anyone hyped it up like they did with Ty and Alex Magoo. So I think they definitely deserve more credit than they've gotten for despite the 1-11 record. And now that'll do it for us tonight. It's a pleasure having you guys on the team. Very excited to have both of you. Anya, we go back from FIU in my last year there where I was commentating. I wish I could have had more time to help you and mentor you, but now we're on the same team again. And Brandon, obviously, I met you through Twitter. I saw your work through FIU. And both of you are doing a fantastic job, and I'm looking forward to have you guys on here, and we can all work together as a team to elevate this. So I'm very happy about it, and happy you guys are here.
Me too, yes. Looking
course.
forward to being here every Monday. Well, most Mondays.
Most Monday. Yeah. So again, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everyone that tunes in and watches every single week, and we'll catch you guys next week for a new episode. Good night, everybody.
Right.